Hey there, happy coders. This is Kevin from Happy Coding here, and I'm going to try a couple things out in this video. I've got a couple different things going with my screen resolution stuff, which is all boring stuff, but stuff I've been trying to figure out. And the little video of my dumb little face in the corner is also something I'm trying out. So this is mostly an experiment, but we'll see how it goes. So it's been a while since I've done one of these videos. It's been a weird few weeks, months, years. I don't know. It depends on how you measure. But I wanted to kind of start with maybe something that I can fit into a small amount of time and just to kind of get back on the horse, as they say. So today I want to do a P5 project that explores the idea of parallax scrolling. And as always, I probably should have looked any of this up, but I didn't. So I don't even know how to spell this thing, parallax scrolling. If I look this up, there might be, I don't know, an example of this. Let's see. So I don't really want a website. I kind of want to show an example from video games maybe. So video games. Sure, whatever. I kind of just want to show what it looks like. It's this idea that here's maybe a good reasonable example. So you have a foreground and then maybe a middle ground and then a background, and they move at different speeds, which gives the kind of illusion of movement or of a 3D perspective. So you can kind of see that in the distance it moves slower, and in the foreground it moves a little faster. And this is pretty common in video games, which is what this video is showing. It's kind of meta, I guess, a video inside a video, but whatever. Where the background moves around slower. And I'm not going to get too advanced here. I'm not going to even use images or anything, but the idea is that you use this kind of scrolling effect to achieve that, to make it look like it's kind of 3D. I'm going to do that just kind of with dots, I think, or something like that. So it's something that's been bouncing around in my head for a while, just as an idea of something I might do. And I honestly have no idea what it will end up looking like. So it might end up not looking that interesting, but I just kind of want to play around and see for myself what the end result is. So that's my goal. And I'm going to give myself, I don't know, about an hour or so, because then it's dinner time. So let me start by going to the P5 editor and waiting for that to load. I don't know why it's slow. The beauty of my little face in the background is you get to see the dumb faces I make as stuff doesn't work right. All right, well, let's try again. Okay, cool. Great, love it. I truly love it. Why doesn't anything work ever? Let's see, is the internet down? No, the internet's down. The P5 editor might be down. That's unfortunate timing. Oh wait, it just loaded. Oh man. Whatever, I should probably edit that stuff out, but I'm not gonna. That's part of the joy of programming. So whatever, here I have my editor, and I can hit run, and I see my beautiful gray canvas. So what do I want to do? I want to have a field of dots that are moving around on the screen. So I think I actually did something similar a few months now back, a little while back, where I did it with, I think, arrays. Yeah, I did something like this, where you show the dots kind of falling, and that gets me pretty close to what I'm going for, but I need, I think, a little bit more information than what I have here, which is just a single value. So I think I am going to end up using a class. So let me maybe create a class, and I'm never going to remember the syntax for creating a class in JavaScript. Good Lord. So let me call it something like, I don't know, dot. And do I need a constructor? Why not? constructor, and I am suspicious that didn't turn blue, but whatever. And I want to give it maybe like an x and a y, or I can just set them to random, I think. So this dot x equals random width, this dot y equals random height, and then I'll have like maybe a draw function draw, or just draw, I don't remember, we'll find out. And I'm going to do like maybe a circle, this dot x, this dot y, and maybe 10, I don't know, something like that. And then what I want to do, maybe an array of these. So I'll say const dots equals empty array, and then in my setup function I'll create a for loop that loops a certain number of times. I is less than, let's say 100 for now, I plus plus, so loop 100 times, and then do dots dot push, I think, new dot. So I'm adding 100 dots to my array, and the constructor for the dot class gives my dot a random x and y value, and then in the draw function for each dot, I will use those x and y values to draw a dot. And I probably broke something, but we'll find that out in a second. And then I need a another loop here of dots that calls dot draw. So I use like a standard for loop here because I want to loop a certain number of times, and I use this like for of syntax because I don't care about the index or anything. I just want to do something a bunch of times. So let's run this and see what breaks. And I am shocked that that worked. Yeah, okay, so I've got my random dots. They're not moving or anything yet, but that's kind of expected. And I hate the generic gray background, so let's make it a very exciting darker gray background. Okay, not bad. I could maybe think about spreading them out, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so what do I want to do next? I want to move them, I think. So how do I want to do this? So eventually I need it to be in like at least 2, maybe 3 layers. But for now, just to get something working, what can I do? I can maybe say like this dot delta x equals maybe a random number between -5 and 5, something like that. And then this dot delta y equals random -5, 5. So now they're going to move, and I can maybe say like in draw this dot x plus equals this dot delta x, and this dot y plus equals this dot delta y. So I'm moving my x and y value by the deltas each time, and I'm also not typing the right syntax. So now I should move the circles each time. I'm not resetting them yet, but we'll just see what happens. They should kind of like explode out from the canvas. And they do, and that's already kind of cool looking. It's not exactly what I'm going for, but it's kind of a fun animation that you might play with. I'm actually tempted to do something. This is one of the things I like about P5 and processing and kind of creative coding in general, is that it's I don't want to say it's easy, but it encourages you to just play around. So like this is not what I'm intending to like finish with, but I just want to see what this looks like if I do that. It's kind of fun. You could maybe think of you know, exploring this path a little bit more if you're interested in that. If you're interested in this effect, I think it looks kind of cool. We could maybe do something like maybe no stroke to get rid of the black outline around the circles. You know, you could play with it if you want to. But anyway, that was just kind of a side mission. So I want to get rid of that stuff that I just added and get back to where we were. Okay, cool. Okay, so right now they're just kind of moving, and it's fine, but it's not, you know, the most, it's not really the parallax thing at all. And they kind of go off the screen, so let me start by resetting. So there's a few ways I can do that. I'm trying to think of whether I want to put that in a function, maybe like a wrap function. So P5 has a constrain function, and I humbly think that they should have added a wrap function as well. So let's do it that way, I think. So let's have a wrap function, and I'll say like, I don't know, value min max, and what do I want to do? I want to say like if value is less than min, then return max. Sure. Else if value is greater than max, then return min. So if I'm less than like 0, then I'd go to width, and if I'm greater than width, then I go back to 0. That's kind of how I'm going to use it, but I need to do it a couple times, and so that's why I'm putting in a function. So otherwise I need to return value. So what I can do is this dot x, this dot y, this dot x equals wrap. I don't need a this dot on this, I don't think. So this dot x 0 and width here, and then this dot y equals wrap. This dot y 0 height. Now that I'm thinking about this, I might not go with this approach after all, because I think I might want to do some randomizing, but let's just see if this works. So what I should see is that they don't like when they go off the screen, they come back, and I think I am seeing that, but it's kind of hard to see with 100. Maybe let's take it down to 3. So yeah, I see them kind of wrapping around, which is kind of a common pattern in this kind of sketch. But I don't know if I want to do this. Like I said, I don't really plan these videos at all because I kind of like showing this process of thinking through things, but it kind of means that you are subjected to seeing me like do these kinds of like experiments that they don't always work, or they're not always what I end up doing. So I actually think that I want to not do it this way. So forget that. And what I instead want to do is something like if this dot x is less than 0 or this dot x is greater than width, then what do I want to do? Let me think about this actually. So if it goes off the left edge, what I want to do is, so I do want to wrap it, but I want to change the y value. Is that right? Yes. Yeah, that's right. I probably should have done this in a different order because right now I'm just thinking a lot of things in my head visually, and it's not super interesting probably to you because you can't see what I'm picturing, but like I'm picturing the, if I go back here, I'm picturing something like this, where when the dots go off one edge of the screen, they come back on the other edge, which is what we just did. But the trick is that I don't want them to just always be in the same position when they come back. I want them to be kind of randomized. So if you fall off the edge here, I do want you to go to the top, but I want you to be in a different position to kind of give that illusion of movement rather than having it like very obviously just wrapping the same pattern over and over again. But maybe I'll add that later. So maybe I'll go back to this actually, just for now. And maybe it'll become more clear once I start adding the kind of parallax effect. So that was a sidetrack of a sidetrack. That's good. Anyway, what do I want to do now? So next I want to, so right now they are moving by random speed, and I don't want this speed to be random. I want it to be based on the layer. So how do I want to do that? Maybe I'll give that as an argument to the constructor. So layer, maybe what I'll do is, so this layer will be like 1, 2, or 3. And based on that, I want, so maybe what I'll start by doing is like not moving it vertically at all. Maybe I'll just start with that, and then maybe here delta x will be negative layer. That looks a little goofy right now, but hopefully it becomes a little bit more obvious. So I have this for loop, and what I want to do is maybe add 10 for each layer, and there's a few ways to do that, but since I only have 3 layers, here's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I could do a for loop or something here, but it doesn't really matter. So for each layer, I'll add 10 dots. And what I expect is to see the circles or the dots moving to the left. Some of them, well, 10 of them will move 1 pixel per frame. 10 of them will move 2 pixels per frame, and 10 of them will move 3 pixels per frame. So maybe that'll look parallaxy already, but I'm not sure. Yes, sort of. So you can kind of see the effect. So you see that there are some moving slower, some moving like kind of medium, some moving pretty fast. And I think that's kind of interesting, but let me think about this. So one of the, I think, challenges here, I mean, there's a couple things that make this not completely work the way I thought it might. First of all, there's not enough, I think. So let's maybe up this quite a bit. Let's just see. Maybe. I think the colors also don't lend themselves to making the effect very obvious. And I think that, funny enough, like P5 does have like layers. So some of the circles are drawn on top of circles that should be behind them. So I think there's a couple things happening that make it look kind of goofy. So what I'll do is maybe I'll say down here, I'll say like if this dot layer equals 1, then what, like, I don't know, fill of red for now, RGB. And else if this dot layer equals 2, then fill GB. I might change these in a minute, but whatever. Fill 00255. So based on your layer, you'll either be red, green, or blue. Maybe that'll help. Nope. What broke? So they're all B. Why are they all B? RGB, else this dot layer. Oh, I never actually set this dot layer, do I? So maybe I'll say, do the first, this dot layer equals layer. Yeah, okay. So now the reds are kind of in the background, greens are kind of in the middle, and the blues are in the foreground. Or at least, in theory, that's what they should look like. But I think P5 is kind of breaking that illusion because of the way I've added them to the array. Some of the circles that should be in the background will actually like be drawn over top of the ones in the foreground, which, maybe it's not the end of the world, but I think it's subtle, but I think it is kind of breaking the illusion. So let me think about how to do that. So, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to make a, how do I want this to work? So I need the slower dots to be added to the array first. So actually that's pretty easy. So I can do something like for let layer equals 1, layer is less than or equal to 3, and then layer plus plus. So I'm going to loop from 1, 2, 3 inclusive. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then they'll add 50 dots for each layer. And I don't need this anymore. Can I auto format you? Does Control T do it? No. Does there's a button somewhere, right? Yeah, okay. So let's just see what it does. Broken. Why? Dot draw. So I broke something. Let's check the syntax for let layer 1, 3 plus plus. That lines up. That lines up. Did I break something here? Dot dot draw is not a function. Yeah, it is. So it must be in the code I just wrote, right? Because everything was working before that. So let's look at this a little bit more carefully. So for let layer equals 1, layers less than or equal to 3, layer plus plus. Yeah, for let I, yeah, that looks right. Oh, wait. What? This needs to be like new dot. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I just messed up the syntax. Okay. Tidy code. I don't know what this means. Like caret up arrow F. I don't know what that is. I should probably look that up sometime because I use that command all the time. Okay, so maybe. So you kind of see the effect that the blue ones are in the foreground, the green ones are in like the middle ground, and then the red ones are in the background. Maybe. It's not super interesting, honestly. So now I'm kind of thinking of how can we make it more interesting. So maybe let's just see what happens if we increase the dot count. You know, maybe. Another thing I could do is try that that like resetting effect I was talking about, like randomize them, because right now, like when you reset them to the same y coordinate. Yeah, same y coordinate. So like see these 3 blue dots at the top, they will always just keep repeating, which might be fine, and that's actually kind of a common thing used in video games and other aspects of Parallax, where you just have like a tiled image. But for this, I'm not sure if it makes a lot of sense. The other thing I could play with is input. So maybe moving the mouse makes the effect like bigger or smaller. So let me maybe try that. How would I do that? I would do that by let me maybe think about it this way. So what I might do, and it's going to be kind of experimental, is this dot delta x equals, so it's going to be negative layer multiplied by something, and that something is going to be what? It's going to be, maybe I'll map the mouse x value from 0 width to well, it shouldn't be 0, I guess. Whatever, we'll find out. To 0, 10. I think this is the right syntax. I always forget this. So I'm going to take mouse x, which starts out in a range from 0 to width. I'm going to map that to a value that's between 0 and 10. And then I'm going to multiply that by layer, so that based on which layer we're in, it'll be multiplied more. So let's just run this and see what happens. So yep, broken, of course it is, because this dot, of course. And okay, so this is actually expected. Don't panic yet. Because mouse x is 0 right now. So what I am expecting to happen is, as soon as I move my mouse to be inside the canvas, they'll start to move, but they'll start to move pretty slowly. And then as I move my mouse to the right, they'll speed up. Yeah, okay. I kind of dig that. Because then if I move to the right, then it speeds up. Yeah, okay. That's pretty cool. I think I like that. Cool. All right, so I think I'm on the right track here. this like interaction, I think, is maybe a big part of the parallax effect, because like when you're in a video game, you can see it when you're like moving left and right. And I'm guessing that some of the other examples that we saw. Oh wait, something weird's happening. Oh, I know why that's happening. Let me hold on. Let me finish that first thought. So I think the idea of interaction is also used in other uses of parallax effects, so like backgrounds of websites and stuff. So this is happening now because, so when I'm going really fast, what's happening is a larger number of dots are going off the left edge of the screen at the same time. And I am always wrapping them to the right edge of the canvas, and so I'm wrapping every circle that went off the left edge, no matter how far it went off the left edge, to the right edge, and so that they're all going to like kind of jump to the same position. So they're going to line up like that. That's kind of funny. Okay, so a couple things I want to do. So maybe let me first fix that, because I think that's a relatively easy fix, because what I want to do is move it to so value is less than min, which is always going to be 0, so I could have just hard coded that, I guess. What I actually want it to be is max minus min. That's goofy, but it works because min is going to be negative. So what I could do, just to be like a little bit more clear, is like it's the absolute value of min, or not min, value, right? So if I'm at -10, I don't want to jump to here. I want to jump to max plus 10. Now I'm thinking about that, I don't know if that's true, but let's just see. And here's similar. I want to be minus absolute of value. There, I don't think the absolute actually makes any sense, but whatever. Let's make it parallel. So now that should start out the same, but now I should maybe, hopefully, not see that effect of them lining up. So let me go to warp speed here for a minute. And yeah, I think that worked. I think it's not quite right, like mathematically, but I'm not here to do math. I'm here to make stuff that looks cool. So I'm fine with it. And I do like this like interactive component to it. So let me maybe think about doing the same thing for delta y. So what I want to do here, I want to do delta y equals same idea, negative this dot layer times, and now I'm going to map mouse y from 0 to height to 0 to 10. I think is a little too fast, but whatever. Good enough. All right, so it's just not moving at all, which is expected. And then what I should see is like kind of both like horizontally and vertically, the dots moving. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually pretty into that. Cool. I think 10 is a little too fast. I also think that blue is kind of annoyingly dark. So RGB, maybe let's make those like cyan. Maybe, I don't know. Now they're kind of annoyingly bright. I'll probably actually change all of them to different colors eventually, but whatever. So right now, this is pretty close to what I was kind of thinking of. Another thing I could play with is the size. So maybe the dots that are further away are smaller. Maybe. What time is it? Still got a good amount of time. Okay. So there's a couple things I could play with. One is the size of the dots. 2 is the colors of the dots. And 3 is, right now I can only make it move like to the, like up and to the left based on how I've coded it. I wonder if if I go off to the left edge and like off the top, like it's just 0. So I can't make it negative. I think there's a trick that if I click and drag, it'll go negative, but I don't actually know what will happen. Let's find out. Yeah, okay, cool. And hey guys, come back. That's hilarious. I don't know why that happened. I'm not wrapping them off the max, I guess. They're gone forever. That is really funny. If value's less than max, wait, if value's less than, wait, so hold on, I've already forgot what happened. So they go off the left and top, so that's if value's less than min. So, but if once they go off the bottom or the right, they are gone for good. And why is that? So we're in this if statement. So if the value is greater than max, then we return min, which is going to be 0, minus value, which is very similar to what we're doing here. So if I'm at like width, then I wrap around to like just to be a little bit negative. I am not sure. So what if I don't do that subtraction? Okay, so now they are working. Yeah, so it's something goofy with this minus a value. And I'm wondering if it's maybe because so on one frame I will go to a negative value, and then on the next value, on the next frame, do I trigger this? And am I just kind of like alternating between being off the left or the right edge of the screen or the top and bottom? Like it's just switching between these two? Maybe. So what I can maybe do is, I don't know, I don't want to add one because that'll still be negative. No, this doesn't make sense, does it? Because why wouldn't the inverse be true? Why would they go off one edge but not the other? So that works. So if I'm, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to only add one dot. Let's do it this way. So now I should only have one dot, one red dot. Yeah. All right, cool. And I can kind of put that where I want it. And then I'm going to add some print statements, or maybe text. Nah, let's just add a print statement, see what happens. So what do I care about? Let's just do x for now. So console.log this.x. Probably fill my console, but whatever. All right, so I'm at 345. I'm down there. Okay, fine. So then I'm moving, and I'm decreasing. My value is decreasing, and I'm only caring about x. So okay, let's go off the left edge, and I should go to less than 0, and then back around to the right edge, which is what happens. So now what happens if I go off the right edge? So I think my computer is dying, but it's okay. Oh, ooh, something weird is happening. Okay. So probably enough has gone by that I can't, okay, I can. So what happened when I reach 400? So I'm approaching 400 and I go to negative 400. What? Oh. Right. Yeah, so this works because when I'm down here at less than min, I'm going to be really small, because what I actually care about, and this is funny. Okay, this is why this absolute value felt weird to me, because I don't actually want the absolute value. What I actually want is min minus value. Is that right? I think so. And what I want here is value minus max. Yeah, I think like I have like weird, like, I don't know, intuitions about this stuff. It's really hard for me to explain why this is right, though. I actually don't know if it's right. I haven't tested it, but like it feels right, and I don't know why. Which is always, that's a fun challenge with these videos and with this like process of explaining yourself. So if I'm at 400 here, what I'm saying here is if my value is more than max, which is going to be 400 in this case, so when I've reached 400.65, then I want to wrap to the left, but I actually want to wrap a little bit to the left of the left edge, so I want to be slightly off the screen. And how far off I want to be from that left edge is going to be how far off the right edge I was. So in that case, it would be like 0.65. It's kind of arbitrary, and this is a piece that maybe doesn't make mathematical sense, but it's just adding that variety between the circles so that they don't line up like we saw. So what I want to be is 0.65 to the left of the left edge. So I'm going to be at negative 0.65, and that would be actually max minus value. So it would be 400 minus my 400.65. I actually think either one would have worked as long as there's some variety, but just to keep it consistent, I think this is what I actually want. Yeah, okay. Let's just see it. Let's just see what breaks horribly. Let me get rid of my console.log. Let me just play with it, see if it works. So this still works. We haven't changed that. Well, whatever. So now the real test is if I go off the right edge, do I come back? And I do. Okay, let's go up to like light speed. Okay, cool. And now the other test is if I go off the bottom, do I come back? And I do. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. All right, I kind of forgot where I was. But it seems like it's working for this one dot. And then maybe put the rest of them back. So I still want 3 layers. And I want maybe 10 for now. So I've got my dots and yeah, okay. So it's kind of interesting if you look at the 3 blue dots that are kind of together. If you kind of stare at them, you might notice that they aren't always in the exact same configuration. They're pretty close to each other, but there is some variation, and that's because of the code that we just added. So that's kind of what's preventing it from bunching up into those lines that we were sawing earlier. But I still don't love that it's always the same, because you can kind of just tell that it's just a repeating pattern. If I go to light speed, I think there'll be more variation. So I bet now, yeah, they're much further apart, and they'll kind of like meander. But it's still just kind of the same pattern repeating over and over again. So the way around that, now we are back to where I was kind of fumbling around at the beginning, kind of getting ahead of myself. So instead of this function, what I want to do is when you go off let's say when you go off the top of the screen. So hold on, let me do it that way. Yeah. When you go off the top, right now, you just wrap to the bottom, and you wrap in the same sort of horizontal position that you're always in. I want to reset the horizontal position to a random value so that it looks like new dots are coming from the other edge and the old ones are just gone. That might look a little weird when we have the ability to kind of go back, but I'm let's see what it looks like. Yeah, so how the heck do I want to do that? So instead of this function, maybe I move this up and should I maybe have like an if statement that's like should wrap? You know what, whatever. Let's just not think too hard about it. Let's just steal this code directly. And where do I do this? I do this here. So let's just kind of paste in. Let's think about this for a second. So what I want is if this dot x is less than 0, then I want to return width plus 0 minus value, which this is funny, like I made my function kind of generic so that it would work with any value, but like now we see that, you know, some of that was unnecessary because this will always just be negative value. So return, and I don't want to return anything anymore. I want to say this dot x equals width minus value. So that's your wrapping, and same kind of thing. So like if this dot x is greater than width, then what I want to do is return width minus, and this is probably another thing we can simplify, width minus this dot x, right? So yeah, here's another example of how we can simplify. So I think I can first of all get rid of these parentheses, and like width minus width is always going to be 0, so we know that it's just going to be this negative this dot x. So this dot x, oh my god, I can't spell, this dot x equals negative this dot x, which I think makes sense. And this is going to be width, wait, minus value, something's not right. Min minus width, oh, this needs to be min, right? Oh yeah, so this needs to be 0 minus value, which is going to be negative value, which is just going to be negative, wait, negative this dot x, wait, hold on. Something isn't right. Is it? No, that is right. Oh my god. This is so ridiculous. So we took the long way around, but what we really want is this if statement. Yeah. And just to test that out, let me get rid of this. Lordy. All right, so let's test out the x, and nope. Why? That's so funny. You're just gonna stick around, huh? No. All right, you can tell that I'm getting hungry because none of that makes any sense. Let me go back. Let me start over, actually. Let me just bring this if statement back because I think I screwed something up with the min and the like just transposing it. So value is always this dot x here, right? Yes. So let me start by substituting those in. Yeah, okay. Min is always 0, so let's do that. Min is always 0. Min is always 0. And then max is always width. Width. Let me test this. That's another thing I should have done before, is just kind of test it incrementally. So, okay, it already doesn't work. Why? Oh, well, because I'm returning it. This dot x equals, and this dot x equals. All right, so let's play again. So are they coming back? I think they are. Yeah, they are. Yeah. And if I go the other way, do they come back? And they do, so it still works. Okay. And now I can go back to trying to simplify this. So this is with minus, oh, maybe this is where I screwed it up, because this is with minus this dot x, which is going to be to the right because it's less than 0, so it's negative. And this is going to be, so what can I do here? Nothing. I can maybe do it this way, but with minus this dot x is going to give you the distance between them. Oh, this is kind of cute. So it's with minus this dot x when it goes off the left edge, and it's negative with minus this dot x when it goes off the right edge. There's certainly a way to simplify this that I'm probably not going to bother doing. Does that still work? Looks like it still works. Does it work the other way? Looks like it still works. I am sure there are, well, I'm sure there are like 3 people watching this, but if one of you is a math person, I'm sure you're yelling at me something very obvious, but whatever, it's 5 lines of code, I don't care. So here's the magic. What I actually want is to reset y here. This dot y equals random 0 height. And I want to do that in either case. So I reset the x and I also reset the y. So now when a dot goes off the left edge of the screen, it no longer wraps to the exact same position, the exact same y position. It'll be random. There's still some noticeable pattern though, because the x is still kind of uniform, so it's kind of always like horizontally laid out the same. There's ways around that, but I've done way too much fiddling with this stuff, or have I? So that looks kind of cool, and this is going to be so freaking annoying because I just spent so much time working through those if statements, but I think I'm going to simplify it. Yeah, I am going to simplify it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if I'm less than 0, what I want is to reset it to width plus random, maybe, I don't know, width over 2. So ridiculous. It's so silly that I spent all that time working through the like algebra of the like exactly how off the min or max I should be, and really all I'm going to do is randomize it. That's all I'm going to do. So dumb. And here it's going to be 0 minus random, which, whatever, I can just do it that way. Random width divided by 2. So now when I go off one of the edges, I don't immediately pop up on the other edge. It's more random. So as a dot goes off the left, it'll pop to the right, but it pops to a random value kind of like somewhere off the right edge of the screen. And so you see those 3 dots that are together right now. You won't see 3 dots together, like we wouldn't have seen them together vertically, but you won't see them together horizontally either. Well, you might, but it'll be random. So yeah, all that rigmarole just to come back to something that's just kind of random, but it's fine. It's whatever. Yeah, cool. That seems okay to me. And if I go the other way, yep. All right, so now I want to do some stuff. I want to get rid of this wrap function, which I never actually needed. I want to get rid of this log statement. And do I need this anymore? Nope. I just need to do the same thing for y, and maybe there's a better way to do this, maybe putting in a function or something, but whatever. So I've got my x, and now I need my if this dot y, and I'm sure I'm going to screw something up. So height and this dot, I could maybe put this above it, so it's xy instead of yx, but it doesn't matter. Height this dot y equals 0 minus random, and now this is going to be height. Doesn't really matter. This random value could be anything, but I kind of like the I don't know, the parallel. I don't know what to call it. The parallel nature of the code, and this is going to be width. Yeah, okay. All that just to come back to here. All right, so now we should see the same thing, and we don't at all, or do we? Was that just because of randomness? I guess it was. I think maybe there's just wait. No, I guess that's right. It's because we are giving like more room to our dots, so I think we kind of see fewer of them on the screen at one time, and whatever, it's fine. But all right, so they seem to be working that way. Do they work this way? I think they do. Do they work this way? I think they do. All right, cool. Yeah, all right. I'm pretty happy with that. I think there's something weird like when you change directions, because the dots are kind of all like right now, all of the dots are sort of either in the upper left corner, like above the upper left corner, or on the screen. So what will happen is when I go the other way, wait, yeah, no, hold on. It's wait. Something doesn't make sense here because this doesn't matter, right? Like by that I mean I'm adding this randomness, and it's quite a large random. So if all right, I'm a dot, and I'm going off the left edge of the screen, and when I'm like at -1, then I'm wrapping to the right edge of the screen. So it's width plus some big number. So let's say it's 100. So I'm at 500 with a width of 400. Won't the very next frame, won't I trigger this next if statement? So now if this dot x is greater than width, which it is, now I'm just going to go back to the other edge, aren't I? I am. So I think there's some goofy, oh, and you can actually see it right now. Oh yeah, you can. So if you look at the edges, you see the like flickering, and that explains why there's not as many dots on the screen at once, because they're just kind of flickering back and forth. Yeah, okay. Or they're not flickering back and forth, but they are like, they'll only come back on the screen if the randomness is small enough to be on the screen. Oh, that's so goofy. All right. So I know what there's a couple ways I could do this, but what I want to do is maybe give it a buffer. So I want to say like maybe negative width here, and I want to say like maybe width times 2 here, and yeah, maybe. If I go slow enough, do I see the flickering? I still do. Oh man, this is annoying. I don't know if I'm going to post this video, honestly. It's just a lot of me messing around with basic math. Whatever. We've reached the point in the coding exercise where it's not fun anymore. I probably should have thought about this a little bit more intentionally, maybe with some graph paper or something. What time is it? I got like 15 minutes till it's dinner time. So now I'm giving myself a big buffer. And I'm saying if I'm off, not only just off the left edge, but off the far left edge. Like it's not just off the canvas, it's like way off the left edge. Then what I'm going to do is wrap to the right edge plus a random number between 0 and width over 2. But that will never be more than width times 2. So I shouldn't see the problem of them kind of going back and forth. I wonder if maybe this if this randomness could get you back close to 0. I don't know about that. I mean, we can try. So one thing we can try just to test this out. So maybe it's something like this. Give it a minimum. Do I still see that flickering? I do. I do still see the flickering. So I think I always see the flickering on the edge that you're going off of. Although it's only top and bottom. And I don't know if you can even see what the heck I'm talking about. So let me make these much bigger so you can see what I am seeing. Yeah, there you go. So you see the flickering, right? Where it's really suspicious that's just top and bottom. So I'm doing the left and right edges correctly, but I screwed something up with Y. Oh, I'm sure it's just something stupid. Oh man, that's annoying. This was a really annoying video. Oh wait, no, maybe that's because I don't have this. Random 25, random 25. Okay, yeah, maybe that's why. So now do I see it? No, I still see it. Okay. Which I'm... Oh, what the heck? Okay, that's fun. That 25 makes things worse, actually, which I think I'm reassured by. So when I run off the left edge of the screen, something is breaking. Does it fix when I go off the right edge of the screen? No. So something's dumb here. Oh, maybe it's this. I need negative height here. Oh, I didn't do this stuff yet. Times 2. Is that what I did? So I didn't give myself the vertical buffer. Yeah. Okay. That is a great example of why I say that stuff like this, where I've repeated logic, I should have put this in a function somehow. And that would have helped avoid that problem where I fixed a problem, but I didn't fix the problem in both places. Yep, great example of what not to do. That's a beautiful educational tool, Kevin. You're really a good teacher. All right. All that drama. But I think it's actually working now. I think there's an initial weirdness. So they all start out on the screen, and then it kind of expands. So I think maybe what I want to do is when I set my randomness here, what I actually want to do is like I want it from negative width to width times 2. Is that right? So it'll be like 3 canvas worths of room. That's honestly way too much room, but it's easier for me to think about. So now we won't start with all of the dots on the screen. It'll be more spread out. Yeah. And now as they scroll through, there you don't see that effect of where'd they all go anymore. Okay. Fine. All right. I'm getting impatient. So what do I need to do? I need to put them back to be small again. It's a little sus. Whatever. Okay, so now that they're small and we have spread them out to ridiculous dimensions, I think we need a lot more of them. How much can my computer handle? Let's see. Nope, can't do that. It doesn't like that. Maybe 200. You might have to play with that number on your computer to see what your computer can handle. All right, 200 seems reasonable. Yeah, maybe. One of the last things that see, there's still something goofy happening where it's like you get these like patterns of like grid lines still, which I think is a symptom of how I'm resetting the numbers and when I'm resetting them. Like, it's not just randomness, I don't think. There's something goofy happening. All right, you know what? I'm gonna maybe forget. See, like that's a good example right there. So when I make it 0, it's more obvious. You can see the lines where they've stopped resetting. Why is that? Let me think about that for a second. It's because I think it's because I need to wait for them to go off the edge of the screen. Oh man. There's something goofy here in these if statements. And I'm debating whether I care, debating whether I just scrap this video. Can I think about this, or am I too hungry? I'm tempted to go back on this idea of having stuff be off the edge of the canvas. I think I did that because why did I do that? Because they were doing that thing where they just kind of flip from the left edge to the right edge back and forth because of how I was adding values to spread them out. Right. So instead of fixing it that way, what can I do? I can say when you go off the left edge of the screen, I reset you. Well, what I could do, let's see if this makes sense. Maybe I'll have a const like border, and instead of making it so huge, like the entire width of the canvas, I'll just make it like 20. My dots are 10, so actually I need it to be based on my speed. So my top speed is 10. So I'll make my border 20, so that's more than enough room. And now what do I want to do? Instead of having random from negative width, what I'll have it is from negative border. Yeah, okay, this is kind of feeling right. And then the max value is not width times 2, which is so huge. It'll just be width plus border. So instead of having it be 800, it'll be like 420. Okay. Does that need to be multiplied at all? No, it doesn't. Okay. Right. Okay. And so now this can simplify a little bit because why? Because what I need to do is not width over 2 here. Well, this 25 is going to bug me. Can I do random of border? No, because I need that. Oh my god. I need that min value, I think. Well, let's see. Oh, maybe I don't, because I did the exact same thing. I forgot to add it here. This video is brought to you by what not to do. All right, cool. So this is like they all start. There's more of them on the screen because we've given them less room to random into. And now if I see it's still okay. Well, that's just broken. Okay. Well, wait. What? Oh, because I still am doing negative width here. So this is actually kind of a good example of I think why the effect is happening, because it's waiting for the circles to go all the way off, and then it was resetting them to a different, the bounds of where I was resetting the circles to were different from the bounds of what I was limiting them to, which was the whole problem. So I can say negative border, and I can say this dot x greater than width plus border. Yeah. This is feeling right again. Border, height plus border. And did I miss anything? Probably. All right, so they start out on the screen. Let me move them to the left, and yeah, I think that's working. Let's move them off the top. Yeah, and yeah, I'm not seeing that effect anymore. I don't even know how obvious the effect was in the video, so I might just look like I'm obsessing over something that is not actually visible, but welcome to my world. Welcome to my brain. And here's the real test. When I switch directions, does it do that annoying thing again? No, it doesn't. All right, cool. I'm actually pretty freaking happy with this. Finally, it took us a hot minute, and dinner's going to be late tonight, but it works. And, you know, if I was, I don't know, if I was a different kind of video tutorial code along guy, I'd probably cut out that middle part and just skip to this, because this is like the, I don't know, right answer. But like I've said a bunch of times, part of what I want to do here is show that process. So I don't know, maybe it didn't make for an interesting video, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's what it looks like. It's how programming works. Okay, so what do I want to do next? What I want to do next, and what time is it? Oh my goodness. Right now your speed is kind of based on your distance from this zero here, 0 in the upper left corner, which I'm getting from this map function. And I don't want that. What do I want instead? This is going to get pretty goofy. I actually want it to be, maybe I want it to be from the center, or maybe I want it to be from where you dragged from. Could that be interesting? It could be interesting, but instead I'm just going to do it from the center. So what I want here is, maybe I'll give myself a new line, and what I want is, I don't know the order I need this in, but it'll either be backwards and I'll switch it, or it'll be fine and I won't. So like height over 2 minus, maybe. And ew, P5, come on. Preserve my vertical white space, please. All right, I'm going to no longer use that tidy code feature. All right, so I'm going to map. So I'm going to take the distance between the center point and my cursor and map it from, it doesn't actually matter. It'll actually be width over 2 and height over 2. Because the furthest I can get, well, unless I cheat using the trick that I just used. Actually, if I go off the right edge, I think it will go faster and faster, won't it? Yes, it does. And I do see a weird effect, but I think that's just a I'm not going to obsess over it. I'm not going to stare at it. It's fine. So it actually doesn't matter because the value can be, I mean, it depends on your monitor size. You can make this go off you can make this value very high. You can make your mouse X more than width, and you can make it less than 0 as well. So I'll just keep it at width and height because it doesn't really matter. Let's just do it and see what happens. So actually what I want to do is, I only want to do this if mouse X is not equal to 0 and mouse Y is not equal to 0. So if I haven't even like touched the canvas yet, I don't want to compute this. Yeah, and the way I want to do this maybe is to get rid of this dot else. Yeah, okay. So I want to maybe say let delta X, by default it's going to be 0, let delta Y equals 0, and I don't need these to be class variables. Oh, I'm going to need to tidy it up again. Yeah, just do it manually. Is that fine? That's fine. So then I've got my delta X and my delta Y. Basically, I'm just doing this so that when I hit play at first, it's not already animated. Yep. So what will happen is now when I move my mouse into the canvas, it'll be based on the like movement of the circles will be based on my distance from the center of the canvas. Well, hopefully. And that is what happens. And it's going in a reasonable direction. It's not backwards. Okay. Which is pure luck. I had a 50-50 chance of that. And I think it goes too fast. So maybe I'll make this 5. It's kind of arbitrary, but multiply or divide by 2. That's how you get to the number you want. All right, so if I'm in the middle, it kind of doesn't move very much. And you know what? I think maybe I will reverse that actually, because I think I want, like, when you're to the left, like you're kind of going with the mouse. It's it truly does not actually matter, but it's personal preference. So width over 2, and switch this one as well. Mouse Y minus height over 2. Yeah. So now when I'm going, yeah, I wish there was a way to kind of like start the mouse in the center. Actually, is there? Can I do that? P5 reference, that's all I want. Is there a way to move the cursor? Let's see. So if I do like p5.js set cursor position, is there a way to do that? Ew, this is what Stack Overflow looks like if you're not logged in. Gross. That's really annoying. Look, here I am. Yeah, whatever. I'm just being pedantic on Stack Overflow. Okay, maybe not. Maybe there's not. Maybe that's okay. I wish I could, like when I hit play, I wish I could jump the mouse to the center of the canvas so that it's a little more obvious what's happening. But whatever. All right, so I'm in the center, and if I move to the right, then you can kind of see that parallax effect. If I move to the bottom, yeah, okay, you can kind of see it. I kind of do think that it would be better to base it on dragging. Maybe, but you know what? I think I'm gonna not. It's already been too long. So you can kind of see what I was going for. I don't know if it's interesting, honestly. It's not quite what I thought it would be. There might be better ways to do it. So I have some ideas. Like right now, all of the layers like completely overlap. I think a big part of Parallax is actually the slower ones would always be sort of at the bottom, and then the middle ones would always be kind of at the middle, and then the far away ones would be in the horizon basically. So I think I break the illusion a little bit here when I have all of them kind of overlapping everywhere. So I don't know if I like that. Another thing I just realized would actually be pretty easy is to make the ones that are further away smaller. Wait, did I do the opposite? Wait, that's not what I wanted. Wait, no, that is what I wanted. Wait, hold on, now I'm confused. No, it's the opposite of what I wanted. Why though? This dot layer is further away, isn't it? Oh my goodness. No, this dot layer right now, well, this dot layer will make it faster, right? Because I am doing this. So faster means closer to the camera, and so what I really want is, this is gross, but what I really want is this. I think my blue ones are gone because it's, wait, am I dividing by 0? 1, 2, 3, yeah, I am. Maybe this is what I want actually. Yeah. All right, so now you see that like my blue things are bigger, so they're closer, then the green ones are a little smaller, and the red ones are in the far away background. Maybe, I don't love it. What if I go back to white? maybe. I think kind of having them the same color now that they are, now that you have the effect, I think maybe makes it a little bit more interesting than having separate colors. Also, maybe they're just like two wildly different colors, like having them be shades of red or blue might be cool. But I think that's kind of cool. I think that's cool enough. You know, I think it's fine. Maybe I'll get rid of these colors and maybe I'll be done here. This one was rough, honestly. This one was rough. Yeah, I think I'm going to call this about where I wanted to end up. So I'm honestly not super thrilled with the effect that it has. It's kind of cool, but I think it would require a lot more fiddling to make it like really cool, to make it like match what was in my brain. Actually, now that I'm staring at it, I'm liking it more and more. I also think I'm just kind of grouchy and hungry right now, and so I think I'm going to be pretty critical of anything I see. So maybe let's spin it around. I'm going to change my mind. I actually do like this. And more importantly, I think it opens up some interesting things you could do next. So you saw me play with colors, and that would be a fun thing to play with. Maybe each one is a random color. I'm actually super tempted to do that right now. All right, if it's less than 15 minutes past when I wanted to be eating dinner, then I'll do it. Otherwise, I won't. It's exactly 15 minutes. You know what? Screw it. Let's just do it. What am I doing? I'm doing this dot r equals random 255. This dot g equals random 255. This dot b equals random 255. And then I am going to do fill. This dot r, this dot g, this dot b. I know Jeff is yelling at me about using random RGB, but I can't help it. I love it. And now here's a real test. Does it actually look cool if we have the parallax effect? And maybe. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Yeah. I mean, adding random colors makes everything better. Another thing I could do is, you know, the old trick of just making them random shades of a color. You know, that could be cool. Actually, I really like that. What if it's just like two of them? Is that cool? That's might be cool. It's kind of fallish, autumnal. Now this is, see, like I said, this is where it gets like one of the fun things about sketches like these is that now you can play around with them, and that's where it gets really fun. It's also where things can just like, you can just spend hours just playing with like different options. It's October something right now, so I want to go back to these kind of fall color. I kind of liked that palette. Yeah, man. All right. I don't hate this anymore. There was a minute where I hated it, but I think it's grown on me. Yeah, cool. I could reset the colors in here. I could change them over time. I could do lots of things, but I think I'm going to call this good enough. Yeah, okay, all right. So to recap, what we did was We created a class, first of all, that was going to represent the state of a single dot. So this class has everything that a dot needs to know to like draw itself and to move itself. And we started out by giving it a random position, and we added a border around the canvas to allow for some randomness between like when it goes off the screen, so that we could eliminate that effect of having those lines. And then in draw, what we did was we take the distance between the cursor and the center, and we move the dots based on the distance between the mouse and the center and the layer of the dot. So dots have a layer of either 1, 2, or 3, and so dots that are layer 3 are closer and they move faster. So you can think of like, I don't know, if you're like looking out a car window as you're driving, or maybe as you're a passenger is a better example, because you shouldn't be looking out the side window at the mountains when you're driving. But say you're looking out the passenger side of a car window, and you see like the road signs and the stuff that's like right next to the road. That stuff moves really fast. And maybe like the buildings or the fields that are like right next to the road, or like a little bit further away from the road, they move a little bit slower than the stuff that's right on the road. And then the mountains in the distance, they don't move hardly at all. And that's the effect that this parallax effect is trying to kind of emulate in the 2D world. So we move our dots each frame, and then we reset our dots based on that logic that I spent so much time figuring out just to have it be freaking random, but whatever. Then we choose a nice fall color, and then we draw a circle. And the size of the circle is also based on the layer. You could fiddle around with this quite a bit more, but good enough. Yeah. All right. So that's the parallax effect in P5. I think I might end up posting this video with a disclaimer of I spend 45 minutes debugging arithmetic just to throw it all away. But hopefully seeing the process is helpful. If you're struggling with some stuff yourself, know that you are not alone. And people who have been coding for 10 plus years, they struggle with the same exact kinds of things. So it's totally normal. But you push through it and you play around and you end up being grouchy and hungry. But at the end you have this interesting and cool kind of artifact of it. And from here you could play more. So if you have coded along this far, if you skip to the end, hello, nice to see you again. What you might do next is, instead of having it be based off of the distance from the center, maybe you drag your mouse around to move it. So if I drag from the right to the left, maybe that moves the background from right to left, or from left to right. I think that would be interesting. You could also play with the colors and the sizes of the circles and stuff. You could play with, maybe more layers. So what would this look like with 10 layers? Right now I only have 3 layers. What would it look like with 10 layers? I honestly don't know, but it might be a cool thing to play with next. Cool. So yeah, like I said, a lot of this video was meant as an experiment. I want to see how this comes out. I've played with my resolution and, having the dumb little picture of me in the like thumbnail corner. Let me know how that feels. I wanted to kind of include my face just as an experiment to see if it felt a little more personal, and seeing if maybe it helps if there's a human connection there. I don't know if that makes it better or not, or if it's just kind of in the way and annoying. So either way, let me know. I'd be curious to hear your feedback, if there's ways I can improve. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end it. If you have questions, either post them in the comments section of YouTube, or come to happycoding.io and come to our forum. And this is where I hang out the most. So I'd love to hear from you. But for now, I will say thanks for watching. Have a great day. And as always, of course, happy coding.